Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jane, as you know, as usual. So it's good to see you guys here again, and it's beautiful seeing your faces again. And if this is your first time seeing my face, please subscribe, like, and share the video if you think I've given you value. So today we'll be answering some questions. Like, I am going to put up an overall explanation of what this thing is all about. First of all, the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is a bean shaped organ in front of your neck. Okay, everyone has it. And it is responsible for secreting two hormones into your bloodstream, the T3 and the T4, which are the thyroxine and the thyronine. Okay, so the thyroid gland is responsible for regulating metabolism, growth, and development in the body. These are very, very important. And the two organs that they drop inside the bloodstream are responsible for overall health of every single person. Now, the thyroid gland is part of the endocrine glands. Now, when you talk about the endocrine glands are special organs in the body that secrete hormones into the bloodstream, which are the pituitary glands, which are called the master glands. So this one regulates all other glands in the body. The thyroid glands that we're talking about, the the ovaries, and the pancreas. These five organs are part of the endocrine glands. We have the exocrine glands, but today we are talking about, and we are concerned with the endocrine glands. Now, when these hormones that are being secreted, the thyroid, the T3 and the T4, when it's being secreted on a higher level, then you will say someone has hyperthyroidism. Then when it is secreted lesser than the body needs, you will say someone has hypothyroidism. I hope you're making progress. Okay, so some of the functions of the thyroid glands are regulate metabolism and energy, controls the rate at which your body uses up energy. So when your body produces energy, the thyroid glands tends to use it up, and the rate at which it uses it up determines or says a lot about what you're passing through. If you're on the hyper side, it uses it up so much faster than it should be. Then if you're on the hypo side, it is always slower. Then the second one is heart and cardiovascular function. When you talk about this one, you're talking about heart rate and blood circulation or blood pressure. Someone that is on the hypo side is likely going to have low blood pressure if not properly managed, and someone on the hyper side is going to have high blood pressure if not properly managed, because the rate at which your body is trying to use up what is on the body is faster than it should be or slower than it should be. So the next one is heart and cardiovascular function. So the thyroid hormones regulates the heart and blood pressure. Now it regulates the rate at which your heart beats. The next one is temperature regulation. It helps to regulate and maintain body temperatures. When you're on the hyper side, you always tend to have warm bodies or one body. When you're on the hypo side, you tend to have cold bodies. When we talk about the hypo and hyperthyroidism symptoms, then you will see how these things are connected, how these dots, how these lines are connected. The next one is growth and development. I would like to say at this point that when you're having thyroid disorder, it tends to affect every single part of your body, from your head to your toe. All these things are interwoven, they are interconnected. Okay, so it is essential for normal growth, bone development, and brain development. Okay, I wrote some things, I'm looking at them, so I wouldn't have to forget some things. Then the next one is digestive function. It helps to regulate how fast food moves through your digestive tract. Okay, how fast your food digests. If you're on the hyper side, your food digests so fast, so easily. Your food, as in your body absorbs the food that you give to it so easily. But if you're on the hypo side, that is why it is good to know the side you're on. The first thing you must do as someone that has thyroid issue is to find out the side you're, whether on the hyper side or on the hypo side, through a test called the thyroid function test. Now, when you do this test, when you run this test, you will be able to know the side you're on. So if your body is on the hyper side, you know the kind of food to eat, kind of things to take. And if on the hyper side, you know the kind of food to eat, kind of, so that it can be able to absorb faster. The people on the hyper side, they tend to need much more protein because their body is in an overdrive mode. It uses up energy, uses up food that you give to it. So that is why they need a lot of protein. But people on the hypo side, you need protein actually, but you must manage, because your body, you must regulate the amount of protein or amount of everything you give to your body, because your body is on a very slow moving rate. The next one is your skin and your hair growth or your hair health. Now, you know the skin is like an alarming point. If anything goes wrong inside your body, first place it blows the alarm is on your skin. But most times we tend to overlook, or we don't even know, we don't even understand all these things. People that have PCOS, hormonal imbalances, most times their alarms are being blown on their skin. Now, going down to thyroid disorder, if someone has thyroid disorder, most times their skin blow alarm, or their skin suffer it, because your skin is a reflector of what is happening on the inside of your body. Now, when these things come up, they come to right on the face, on the skin, on your hair. That's why most people have, almost everybody has skin thinning, hair thinning, alopecia, stunted hair growth. Okay, next one is reproductive health. I think this is very, very important. Why? Because this one regulates your menstrual cycle and infertility. You know that most people who move around with PCOS, or people who are suffering from PCOS and hormonal imbalances or infertility, most times the underlying issue there is a thyroid. Yes, I can beat my chest and say that. And most people who have these things, who have these issues, also have thyroid disorder. It might not be the main cause of it, but the thyroid must be involved. So you see why you must take good care of yourself, even if you're not having a thyroid disorder, because these things, since it revolves around your reproductive system, it means that if not properly managed, can lead to infertility. Now I'm talking about the symptoms of hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism. Now we'll be starting with hyperthyroidism. Weight loss, rapid or irregular heartbeat, as we said earlier. You're beginning to cross the T's and dot the I's now. The sweating, sleep difficulties, insomnia, irregular menstruation, as I mentioned previously, bulging eyes and puffy eyes due to stress and inflammation, alopecia, as I said earlier, diarrhea. I want to say something here, because this diarrhea, most people are experiencing it and they don't know the cause of it. And this thing is very, very serious. If you don't take care of it before you know what is happening, you start stooling blood. Yes, you might think it's so much. It is your system, it's your immune system. It is your thyroid. You need to take care of it. People on the hypo side tend to have constipation. Most people, yes, most times is always the opposite. In some cases it is not. The next one is muscle weakness, that is bone inflammation. The next one is tremors, warm skin, as we said earlier, mood swings, panic attack, nausea, vomiting, and dehydration. Are you seeing it now? Because if your body is on the overdrive mode, then definitely you're liable to have dehydration. So you must take a lot of water. Now, next one is hypothyroidism. The fatigue is a common symptom between hyperthyroidism and hypothyroidism. Then weight gain. Most people on the hypo side, they tend to gain weight even when they don't want to gain weight, even when they're not planning it. But they keep adding weight until you introduce some things. Mostly, if you channel your health, your healing towards the holistic and Ayurvedic lane, we'll talk about that. Them feeling cold, they feel cold easily. Yes, yes, they feel cold easily. Slow growth. I would like to say here that this thing does not have to do with adults alone. Yes, kids experience it. If you as a mother did not treat this thing very well, then you are liable to pass it on to your child, the child you're carrying. Yes. So most times in kids or at puberty ages, they tend to have stunted growth. It affects their growth, even their bone, even their brain formation. The next one is hair loss. It's a general symptom. Hair dryness, abnormal bleeding, constipation, dry skin, hoarse voice, bulging eyes too. Yes, I've seen someone came to me on Instagram to tell me about the mom having bulging eyes. Although she was on the hyper side, but she was being asked to take Habimazole. You can imagine that. Brain fog. Brain fog is a general symptom. Everyone, both hyper and hypo, experiences brain fog. Then depression and the slowed heartbeat. That is why we said that the person on the hypo side, sorry, if not properly managed, can have low blood pressure. So I think I wouldn't want this video to be so long. This is all we can discuss for today. In our next video, we'll talk about something else. So before my next video, bye.